hi to all my friends and followers. I hope you're all doing well and having a nice weekend. I'm just coming on to do a reasonably quick live video, I hope, to share something, to share an experiment that was done about ultra-processed foods that hopefully to some of you will help you with overeating. So if you are someone who happens to overeat for whatever reason, this could be super useful to you. So keep listening. Hi Mum, I'll see if anyone else, Mum is my biggest fan and supporter. See if anyone else can join live. If not, I'll be happy if you comment #replay and when you watch this on replay. So when it comes to overeating, hi Marina. When it comes to overeating, typically what I see all the time is that either people suffer from emotional eating, and it basically is what it says on the label. Instead of processing our emotions in a healthy way, we suppress them and we eat them instead. Trying to eat them instead doesn't work. And we often end up in a worse situation than we've started, because we've started off with having some negative emotions, then we've had instant gratification, instant comfort from eating or drinking something, but after that has passed, we are still left with these negative emotions because they haven't been processed. But on top of that, we now have the guilt that we have eaten something. So we're worse off in the long run. We just get that instant gratification, instant relief, but actually in the long run we feel worse afterwards. And some studies in the UK show that for people that are overweight, up to 49% of those people suffer from emotional eating. So nearly a half. So big numbers. Very important topic, and I come across it all the time in my work. Secondly, something that perhaps is a little bit less known or talked about, and a lot of my clients not are aware of this, is actually developing a physical addiction to food. Not an emotional one, but a physical one. And this is where ultra processed foods come to play. So when it comes to emotional eating, and I talk about this in great detail in my weight loss program, I look at the circuit in the brain and the 5 centers in the brain that are involved in this circuit, and they send signals to one another. And when the circuit is complete, you basically go and eat something, and it all happens really fast. And typically you have an emotion, it's an impulse, and you go and eat something or you drink something. So it's really important, and it's very helpful to understand what actually happens in your brain and at what points can you interfere and try and break that, that domino effect, and you can stop it. So you then don't go and do the thing that you really don't want to do. So that's about the brain, about the mind. When it comes to physical addiction from foods, it's down to our gut health. So what we have is we have a two-way communication system between our gut and our brain. It's a gut-brain axis, works both ways. And when we eat a lot of these bad foods, typically high in sugar, salt, fat, trans fats in particular, we then end up having a lot of unbeneficial bacteria in our gut, and through this axis it sends signals to our brain, causing irresistible cravings. And then sadly, some people have got both. They have developed emotional eating as well as physical addiction from food, so it's a double whammy. So like I said in great detail, I talk about this. It's I think an hour and a half lecture on both in my program. This is just to raise your awareness about it. But today's topic and today's example that I want to give you could be a little trick that you could have up your sleeve that could serve you very well in the long run if this is a problem that you have. So basically, the scientists who conducted this study, for those who want to look this up, is called Kevin Hall, And I heard about this study in a conversation between Tim Spector, who's the co-founder of Zoe, and Chris Van Tulleken, who is very into the science of ultra-processed foods and what's in them. And they talked about this study, so then I went to look it up. And basically in this study they proved that there is something in ultra-processed foods, some chemicals that they put that make us eat more and make us eat faster in comparison to natural foods and products. Okay, and it also proved that you can't compare calories as equals because they're not equal. That's an entire other subject in itself, but you can't compare, let's say, a slice of cake that's, I don't know, 500 calories, and then, you know, a wholesome meal that's got a lot of protein, a lot of good fats, that's 500 calories. Calorie per calorie, it's the same, but the effect those two meals are going to have on your body is completely different. So in this experiment, they had two groups of people, and they did this experiment for 1 month. The first group were given whole foods, and the second group were given ultra-processed foods. Per meal, they were offered options that contained exactly the same amount of calories. So these whole foods and processed foods have the same amount of calories per meal, per snack. And this is what happened. For those who are trying to figure out what ultra-processed foods are, then let me give you an example. So if, let's say, for natural foods, for breakfast, somebody in the first group, they would have porridge with some berries and some nuts. And then the second group with the ultra-processed breakfast would have a bagel with cream cheese and turkey or smoked salmon. Yeah, and they both seem like perfectly healthy options and not too many calories in either of them. The only difference is that in the second group, the food has been heavily processed. And yeah, so this experiment went on, and basically what they proved is that people that were eating the ultra-processed foods ate a lot more and ate faster. They all went for second helpings, so they would have this bagel, but they would want to have another one. They would have a piece of cake, but they would want to go and have another one, and they would eat it very quickly. But people that ate natural foods, they ate a lot more slowly, and they either ate the meal and were satisfied with it or didn't finish the meal. So what we've got here is an example of how ultra-processed foods manipulate our bodies and hijack the natural responses to our hunger hormone, ghrelin, and hormones that are responsible for making us feel full. So clearly, when we eat whole foods, we are in tune with our bodies, and when we are hungry, and we naturally are able to receive and understand the signal, I'm now full, I'm going to stop eating. When we eat these ultra-processed foods, it's just like, oh, more. So there is just something in them that you don't get the signal, I've now had clearly enough to eat, I feel full now, you just want to keep eating. Very, very shockingly, people on the ultra-processed food diet ate approximately 500 more calories every single day. And that is basically like having a meal number 4, because they went and they always wanted to eat more of something. They were never satisfied with the meal in front of them. How interesting is that? I mean, I find all these kind of things fascinating. They say that they don't know for sure what it is that they put in these ultra-processed foods. Or maybe they do know, but they don't want to reveal that yet. Because can you imagine if we, there was publicly published a list of these chemicals that make us overeat and eat faster, then we would start looking at food labels and we would stop buying things that contain them, right? So I don't know, do they have the list or don't they have the list just yet? Some of you might be listening to this and thinking, well, what's the point? Like, what is there to gain? I eat more, I get fat, who is gaining here? Who is gaining from me eating more and me gaining weight? As always, it's to do with business and making money. Here in the UK, we've had food readily available to most people for quite some time. So the food companies are competing against each other for profit. And the only way to make more money is to sell more. You want to buy 2 chocolate bars instead of 1. That packet of cereal, instead of lasting you for a week, it only lasts you for 3 days because you eat more of it, you eat it faster. Do you follow? So, that's Chris Van Tulken's theory on it anyway. He says it's all about making money, and we make money. You can go much deeper in that. When you are overweight, then you probably in time end up with other health issues like high cholesterol or high blood pressure, diabetes, some heart problems, whatever it is. You then need more medication, and again and then you take the medication, and then you might have some side effects, so then you take more medication. It's all about making money and profits for all these, pharmaceutical giants and for food manufacturer giants and so on. So what is my tip then, now that you know this information? My tip for you would be, if you really fancy quite a fattening meal like a lasagna, for example, or spaghetti bolognese, or if you really fancy a nice juicy piece of cake, then my advice to you would be to get a recipe for it and make it yourself. Because although it may be a meal that will contain more calories than you would typically like, it's not going to have the same effect on you if you buy a pre-packaged lasagna or a ready-made cake. It's going to have a very different effect on your body, although calorifically they might be the same. So that is my advice for you today, and I hope that is useful, and for some of you that you will go and you will do that. But as I said at the beginning of this live, if you want to dwell into more what's behind me overeating, is it emotional eating, is it food addiction, do I suspect it might be both, and you want to get that self-education around these topics and come to my lessons in my program and get the strategies and the methods and the recipes, like I said, with the brain and the emotional eating, you'll get strategies. With the gut health, you'll get a 5-day, what did I call it? Get rid of your cravings 5-day plan. So that's in my program. My program is available for purchase 24/7. You can just go and treat yourself to my program at any time. You will find it in my bio on my website. It's called Restart. The price is £150. What happens is you purchase this program, and then you get a series of different lectures, mainly all about weight loss psychology, then a lot on food addiction and emotional eating, as I've just mentioned. You get a recipe book, you get exercises, you get everything you need to know about habits, the role of environment in any transformational process. And then at the end of the program, there's a style consultation. So I have a stylist that has kindly agreed to take part in my program. So then as you start to lose weight, you can look at what can I wear that would suit my body type, what shapes, what colors, and so on. So we end with style and confidence. If you need a payment plan, I do offer payment plans for people as well, so you can then pay it in 2 or 3 installments if that's of use to you. But yeah, it's my pride and joy, this program, because it's a method that I used myself to lose 38 kilos, 6 stone or 80 pounds in weight. The same method I used again after I had my baby girl, but I achieved the result much quicker. I lost my pregnancy weight in about 3 weeks after having her, because I already knew what to do. The first time it was a little bit longer process. So I've tried and tested it on myself twice and many clients, and you'll see a lot of testimonials on my website as well. If you've got any other questions before you jump in, then you can message me, or you're interested but you're not sure if you want to dive right in with the program. I've got lots of different masterclasses as well. I've got Train Your Mind to Lose Weight masterclass, which is a perfect introduction to my program, and I've added a few new things that I've learned and discovered after I had my baby girl that have been really useful. So anybody who's a mum or simply very busy people, there's lots of really good strategies for you that will save you time and make you more productive as well. So take a look, and yeah, I hope that this was useful. If you found this video interesting, then please do give it a heart. That gives me an indication of what kind of content people like to listen to. If you think any of your friends, a friend or friends would benefit from this information, then please tag them. I always say sharing is caring, and we need to get the word out. We need to know about these things, because the more we know, the more empowered we can be in the choices that we make on a daily basis. Until next time, I wish you a fantastic weekend, and you know the drill. Be healthy, be happy, be you, and I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.